Show polls button. Comments will appear here. Comments will appear here.
Okay, I think we're live. I hope so. Let me just see if
Comments will appear here. Finish back button.
Yep.
Window finish button. Window Facebook.
Okay,
Double tap to activate.
I'm trying to get this centered correctly, but it may
Recents
not be
button. Window navigation
perfect.
bar. Double
But
tap to activate.
I
Double tap
guess
and hold
you'll
the long
just
press.
have to live with it if it isn't, because just let me know for next time if my face isn't showing, or if it should be more left, right, high, low, center, whatever. So I'm not going to use the glasses this time, because apparently people wanted to see my lovely face for whatever reason, but I will be using them a lot in future. But I just wanted to try this music stand idea. That's where I have my phone sitting right now, to just for future reference, so I will know how to place things or whatever, because I'm still learning and I'm closer to the house this time, so hopefully that will mean that the audio won't break up like it was on my first video. And I have my laptop here, but I have it pretty much closed, except for so I can just manipulate the keyboard big enough for my hands to get in there, because I don't want the screen to be in the way of what you're seeing, so it's not open too far. But anyway, one of the comments on my video yesterday, our ranch caretaker Russ noticed that he said, "It looks like your shoes are untied, so I hope you don't trip." And actually they weren't shoes, they were my house slippers. So, that was kind of funny, because I mean, I just wasn't really thinking about people being able to see my feet, but apparently they can. So I will have to be more mindful of that in future, because my slippers didn't exactly go with the rest of my outfit, I'm sure, but oh well. We're not fancy here, we're just a bunch of friends meeting over coffee or whatever, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But that was kind of funny. So yeah, but any feedback you have, comments, or whatever, I'm not going to post this one live, because I want to drive a little more traffic hopefully to my YouTube channel, but I will still definitely be doing live videos on Facebook and whatnot, but just not this particular one. But actually this might be a good video for you to get your kids, and they might enjoy this as well. I wonder if anybody is seeing me, because I thought I sent this to only me, but if you're seeing this live, let me know. I guess it won't be the end of the world, it's just not what I intended, but anyway, so I have my screen reader here talking in my ear, have these earbuds on, so I can keep myself a little bit organized with my notes, hopefully, and don't go too far adrift, because I don't want these videos to be super long. But yeah, this would be a good video that your kids might enjoy as well, because it's going to be all about using your imagination and the unique ways that my siblings and I entertained each other as kids. So actually it would even be fine for you to just close your eyes and listen, because then you'd have a more true picture of how it was for us without the visual aspect to distract us. So it was probably even a little easier for us to enter fully into the imaginary world that we would create sometimes. And especially for our brother, my twin sister and I are 10 years older than Rory and 13 years older than Reed. So we just grew up on a ranch, so of course we didn't get to town as much for activities and stuff, and so we were very close as siblings and still are. my brothers were just pretty much at our mercy, but fortunately they didn't seem to mind. They just entered into whatever games we concocted for them or whatever we wanted to teach them or whatever, because Kim and I always wanted to be teachers. And so we decided that we were going to play school with, well, at first it was just Rory because Reed was too young, but we were about probably 12 or 13, or Rory was like 3 or 4 years old when we started this, and we did it for several years. So my siblings and I were all born totally blind. And so our brothers were kind of our first guinea pigs as far as students. And so fortunately they were game, but we were kind of tough teachers. We weren't even above pulling their hair at times if they didn't meet up to our standards. So we were kind of mean in that regard. But there's this old house on our ranch that my grandparents lived in way back in the day. And so that's what we decided to convert into our schoolhouse. And so when I go out there to visit the ranch one of these days, I can show it to you. The house is kind of old and decrepit and falling down now, but back in the day it was still pretty good enough for us to play our music in and do this school for Rory. And so anyway, this school that we created was like serious. We called it playing school, but we actually wanted to teach our brothers and like get practice, and we actually wanted them to really learn things.
Slow connection.
So Kim and I'm still getting that slow connection notification, so I hope that this isn't breaking up like the last one was. If so, I guess I'll have to resort to doing these in the house in future until the glasses hopefully will get better over time with future updates, because I would really like to sit out here on my swing for some of them. So anyway, Kim and I attended the school for the blind that was 200 miles away from our home. And we got to go home, fortunately, on weekends. So that's when we would play with our brothers, and during the summers, of course. But we checked out a whole bunch of stuff from the school library, a whole bunch of like Braille books and educational materials and stuff. And our teachers had given us some old textbooks rather than just throwing them away. Whenever things became dated, they would just give the stuff to us because they knew that we really liked it and wanted to play around with it. And I should have put my hair in a barrette before I started this. But anyway, so we totally like figured out a schedule, and like we would have Rory in school, quote unquote, like 6 hours a day, 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. Kim was her teacher personality was Miss Green, and she taught like reading and math and stuff like that. And I was first I was Miss Kelvin, but Rory couldn't pronounce the L because he was too little at the time, so he called me Miss Cavin, so I became Miss Cavin. And I taught like counting money and like identifying coins, how to tell different coins apart, like what's a nickel and dime and quarter. And I taught like fractions. I had these fraction blocks where Rory could manipulate the, like putting 4 fourths together made a whole, or 2 halves made a whole, and things like that, and just all kinds of sciencey stuff. And then Kim was also Miss Applewhite, and Miss Applewhite was the music teacher, and I was Mrs. Smith. That was the gym teacher, so of course I taught him all kinds of exercises and stuff. And during recess that we would play like Simon Says and Captain May I and Red Light, Green Light and stuff like that. Some of those old games that a lot of kids never probably even heard of anymore. But And like we all had our own very distinct personalities. We would change our voices like the different
Slow connection.
people, and we even created students as well, so that Rory wouldn't be the only one, because we wanted to make it as fun for him as possible. So we would pretend to be other characters in addition to just ourselves as the teachers. So I'm going to do a little bit of role playing here, just so you know what it was kind of like. And like Rory, I'm sure on one level he knew that it was just us, like his sisters or whatever, but yet on another level he just entered into it wholeheartedly. Like the other students just became his actual friends, and like, and when he wasn't in school he would just wonder, like, I wonder what Linda's doing right now, I wonder what she had for supper tonight or whatever. It's kind of cute. But so like the first person that Rory encountered when he entered the school was the secretary, and the secretary was like this brusque character who was kind of mean, Rory said, and the secretary was the one that showed him where his classroom was and stuff until he knew the way by himself. And so she would take his hand and guide him, and she squeezed his hand too hard, he said. And first we would make him wait in the waiting chambers for like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm not really sure what the purpose was of that, but then in due course, I guess just building up the anticipation for the day or whatever. But then the secretary would just come out and she would say like, "Hello, Rory. Your first teacher is going to be Miss Kevin, and she is in this first room right over here by the piano, right this way. I will take your hand and show you.
Slow connection.
Miss Kevin, this is your new student. His name is Rory." "Well, hello, Rory. How nice it is to meet you. I am just so thrilled that you're here. We're going to have so much fun together. You can just have a seat right here by me, and Linda is sitting here too by us. She's going to join our classes. She's about the same age as you. Linda, would you like to introduce yourself?"
"Hi, I'm Linda, and I'm 4 years old, and I really, really like this school. You're just going to love it so much because we do all kinds of fun things, and we just, well, I don't want to give away the surprise, but I hope you can come to my house someday and play with all my new toys I got for Christmas." And
Slow connection.
"Linda, you don't talk give other people a chance too. My name is Joey, and I'm 5, and I'm here too, and Dawn is also here, but she doesn't say too much. She's kind of shy. Dawn, are you gonna be brave enough to say hi to Rory?" "Hello, Rory. I don't really like school that much, and I don't really have too many friends. Maybe you can be my friend, but I'm kinda shy."
So anyway, that's how that went. We just kind of were all these characters, the teachers, the students, and everything. And I just have a lot of fond memories of those days. And Rory, well, both of my brothers actually learned quite a bit because we would teach them Braille and like how to use the abacus for math, and how to even did a little bit of like using a white cane and things like that, to travel a little bit on the sidewalks around the town, and we would go to visit my grandparents. And so yeah, and Rory then, when he was old enough, was able to go to school right in Lemon, where we lived, where we grew up there in South Dakota, but our farm was actually in North Dakota, so we claim both states. But yeah, so he didn't have to go away to school like Kim and I did, because he was like 2 or 3 grades ahead in every subject area. because they tested him before he started school and whatnot, and he just had a teacher's aide who taught herself Braille, and Kim and I helped her a little bit. She was just great with both of my brothers, and they had her all through their school years, but other than that, they were just mainstreamed into the classroom with everyone else, and they just had someone from the school in Grand Forks, School for the Blind there, would come and assess them periodically, and teach them some like blindness skills or whatever, and other than that, though, they were just pretty much on their own, just like with all the other kids and whatnot. And oh, and we also had night school for Rory and Reed as well, which was more of a, like, just a fun thing where they would sing songs and play games. And like I remember one Halloween, the boys for whatever reason didn't go to town for trick-or-treating with our moms, so that year we just had a Halloween party for them out at the ranch. We just played the scary music, the scary sound tape in the background that had like spooky sounds, and we made like a haunted house for them. I don't even remember all the details right now, what all it consisted of. I know we had like yucky slime and stuff to put their hands in, and I can't remember what else. Maybe they might remember. And then we took them like trick-or-treating to all the imaginary friends that lived out at the ranch. Like there was Casper the Friendly Ghost, and he sounded kind of like this, and I'm Casper and I gave everyone Cheetos that year. They still talk about that. Rory and Reed still remember that the friendly ghost who lived in the barrel, instead of giving out Halloween candy like most of people do at Halloween, he gave everybody Cheetos. So yeah, it was just a really fun time, and it prepared me for homeschooling my own kids, because I have 2 kids who are now adults, but I homeschooled them as well in addition to other people's kids. And so I would love to hear about any unique things that you may have done as children, some of the games you might have played or whatever. And with that, I guess I will draw this to a close, but I believe the next time we get together, we will talk all things Neuralink. So if you don't know what that is, you'll just have to tune in next time to find out. And in the meantime, I will leave you with this question to ponder. What, or would you be willing to let a robot work on your brain? Operate on your brain, like do surgery and put in a chip in there and stuff like that? And the answer for me is yes. And we'll talk more about that next time.
It's slow connection.
So thank you all for watching, and I don't trust myself to stop the video, so I'm just going to cheat for now and reboot my phone. But thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Side button settings.
Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you.
Restart button.
See you next time.
Restart button.